Okay. Hold on. No, I didn't lose it. I just don't have it. I know where it is. If I can grab this one. It's a secret. In my pocket. Not in these pants. Hello, everyone. Let's test if this works.
Oh, did you start?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that picking up? No?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Either second to last or third to last. We'll see. It is coming down to it. Last time we fought two of the Brotherhood and slaughtered them. It was probably the best way.
Okay, how many
I
have
can put
we killed?
There are two left. Well, three,
No.
technically.
Yeah.
There was 5, right?
Yes, we killed
Okay.
Shadia. She was the first. And then we killed Hakor, who was the second.
And then we found out that
Ammonius
Odion.
was not one of the.
what was his name?
Ammonius?
Ammonius.
Isn't one of the stones.
Yeah, we assumed he was the Blade, which we found out just now that he was not. And that the Blade...
Oh, I thought the Blade was the military guy. Hakor.
No, Hakor was the Scorpion.
Oh.
Anyway, so two of the...
Get some very like Assassin's Creed vibes by these like names and stuff.
A little bit. But yeah, it's Egypt culture, yes, I just kind of went with that. But the whole idea of it now is that Odion has admitted that he has been the Blade the whole time. We knew he was a Yuan-Ti, but we did not know that he was more than that. He said he was just a priest, and so...
I knew we couldn't trust him.
Yeah. Well, he came forward to you about it, but yeah.
That doesn't matter. He lied.
Scoundrel. Yeah. No. The consequences be what you guys choose to do with him, but he's admitted to it, and he just saved your life.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
He just gave his life to you, if you remember that. Like, he just got struck down by, was it Ammonius or Hakor? I don't remember who took you out.
Hakor,
I think
it
Hakor.
was.
Ammonius was fighting me and then somebody else, the prince, I think.
Yeah,
I can't
Kalali,
remember.
I think she was
Oh.
over there fighting.
Yeah.
Well, Odion was taking out things from afar, and then he went in, and then he Misty stepped over to her.
Oh, you're so young.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, so now here we are.
Are you waving at Mom?
We're all in the good parts.
She's waving at
It's good though because you got to say the last words to Ammonius, and I thought you were gonna cut his
Good.
head off or stab him or something,
Well,
but
instead
it was
you're just...
instead you just hacked him up really
I was
good.
letting out a lot of emotions.
Which it makes sense, right? Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right then. So
He was a total jerk.
he was kind of
And
a
especially at the
He
end.
was a big meanie.
Bringing up your brother like that.
No.
mean face. But yeah, anyway, he's toast. He's toast. Out of the way. He's been a problem
Meanie
since
head.
episode 1. Episode 1, he's been an issue. So it's good. It's good to get some bad guys out of
Yeah.
the way. All right. So thank you for joining us tonight. Those that are hopping on.
Gotta keep that girl happy.
Yeah, we got a little baby over here. If you don't hear that. Anyway.
Chirping and
Jumping.
clicking.
All right. So
Maybe
the
ghosts in the
battle
other room.
air is just settling. Everything is becoming less and less tense because everyone's just looking for the next thing to shoot at them, blow up. You guys have
Turn them
fought.
to stone.
You fought a Medusa right before that, so I mean it's this big like sigh. You know, it's over that fight anyway.
I don't know if this is gonna wrap up as neatly and as quickly as you're anticipating.
I do not anticipate anything wrapping up. I'm just saying it could be 2, 3, 4 episodes.
Probably go on another year.
Who knows? It could happen. Depends on what you guys do.
We
If you
have
guys just
two
say,
How
"It'll be
long did
fine."
it take us to hunt down these guys? You know, and Shadia, that kind of just happened.
That
on
was
accident.
because you were there. She would have gone there anyway. It's just you
Exactly.
happened to be there.
So. Yeah.
Because you could have got that message from those Yuan-Ti spies and ran.
Okay, so
Yeah,
how
like you were
far
kinda
are we
planning on
from
doing.
from the camp?
From the camp,
Yeah.
well, it's far away. It's about half a day's journey. You can see it, but it's a long ways off.
Oh heck no. We're not going that far when like we're barely like alive.
I kind of want to. Now that I know Odion's the blade, and he didn't want me to strike the stone, I kind of want to like strike the jackal.
Okay.
So that one's still up, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one you were trying to
No, it was the
strike
blade. I was gonna strike the blade, yeah. And Odion was like, "Hey." I don't know why.
Yeah, okay, and then Hackor was the scorpion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So
go up and make a strength like you're attacking it.
a strength.
Well, you use your strength or dexterity. Which one do you use for your?
With my sword, I imagine
Is it a
strength.
finesse?
It's a long.
Or is it? It's a
it's a
strength
long
weapon.
sword.
Yep.
So
So that would be a strength roll.
6.
Okay. So you go up to strike it. It's not like you miss it.
Right.
It's just the strength you put into it. Doesn't mean you have to roll natural
It
20 to
just
break your
Seems
weapon.
to have no effect.
And you're tired.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like.
Maybe we'll rest and then try again.
But what happens is, as you are about to hit it, like it hits the ground, and you hear this very loud metallic like rumble. Nothing happens to it physically, but you, for a moment, are taken to this image of this young man, and you recognize him as Amon, and he's the jackal, and he's like just a young man. He looks like a normal person. He's brought before this council, and they're all in like robes and things like that. And he has a sister that's with him, and she's coming along, and she's kind of like, "What's going on? I want to come along with you." She's kind of sneaking up. The council pulls her forward. He didn't know that she came into like the chamber with them, and they hand him a knife, and he kills her. And then they put a robe on him, and then that's
That's the
when-
jackal?
and that's when you flash back out of it.
Have you
Okay.
met him before, the jackal?
In
I
that
can't
party.
remember.
Yeah, they were all there.
It
I
was all
think.
at once meeting.
Yeah,
It's kind
Oh,
of
in
like
that weird party.
we
that you're-
were like servants basically there.
yeah, it was a lot more than them, but they just kind
No,
of
we were being honored because
Yeah.
we had killed the basilisk or something.
yeah, so to speak.
Yeah, honored.
Yeah. But yeah, they met them all, and they threatened them. They said we know who you are, and then that was pretty much it. They said that they were going to kill them in the arena the next day. That didn't happen, and then when they were going to kill them, they escaped. That's kind of how it ended out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just popped out of that just vision of seeing the jackal become the jackal
Okay.
by killing and sacrificing his sister.
So I'm gonna, I'm by Odeon right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I say, okay, how did you end up in that? Because he was in the arena with you, wasn't he?
Does anyone hear anything?
Odeon was, yeah.
Oh,
Kind of sounded like chirping.
my alarm.
Oh, I was like, do I hear chirping? Oh, okay.
There's a bird in here.
I thought it was like a bat had like made its way somewhere.
We have a bat in our house.
I think we'd all be panicking if there was a bat in our house. So she has this friend who made these glasses, and it's like a rebel
Oh,
and imperial glass.
Mhm.
It's like one of my favorite things
Cool.
ever. It's like I need to like
Choose
ask her to
wisely.
make some other things.
That needs to have some sort of Indiana Jones reference on there too.
You chose
wisely.
poorly.
Yeah. You chose poorly. Brittany and I say that all the time.
That's awesome. All right, so you're by Odeon, and you were by Odeon. You were saying.
Yes.
Okay. What was
Hold on, you interrupted me. So,
there was beeping. I was very thrown off.
oh,
You were wondering about
My immersion
yeah.
the-
got taken away.
How did you meet Weirin and his brother and stuff? How exactly did that happen? How did you end up in that place? Because I know that they were in the arena together, right?
Mhm.
How did you end up there if you're part of the Brotherhood? Is this some kind of like secret mission you're trying to infiltrate, or something? Like, I don't
So,
know.
normally
I know you
he-
saved my life, but I don't know
Yeah.
how I
No,
can
no, no.
trust you now.
Yeah, normally he answers in a very smiley, just like like disarming sort of way. But this time he frowns. It's a very deep frown. And He looks
Oh,
very
he
sincere.
frowns.
He looks very.
Kids are pretty good at those.
He looks very sincere. He decides to uncork like a thing of alcohol and toss it to him as he's walking by, just like keep drinking. And he turns away from you and kind of walks in the center and like gets out his blade and starts like scraping the edge of the thing, just like it's almost like a habit sort of thing. He's been here many times in his past. He ends up getting his blade and he just throws it. And unceremoniously just tosses it to the side. He takes off his robe, and for the first time, you actually have been seeing him much without it, except you in the arena. But he suddenly takes away his visage, his hidden attributes, and you can see to the side. You
Because
can
we have
see
Kalali there and the prince and.
Yeah, he's revealing it right now. You just see scales along this side of his face all the way down, like this side of his body. And this side is totally normal. But he turns around and you can see his eyes are snake eyes. And just like part of his face has been like transformed a little bit. He looks totally like sad that you have to see him this way, but he looks at you and just says, "It was easy." He said the council, as it was always done before, has found sacrifices brought to them before the altar so we can create ourselves in the perfect image of Saros and be more serpent-like. He showed me thousands of times our enemies, and we've been able to hunt them down before they became a problem. That's why Mineba has never been taken. But that was before we met you. And he looks over at Weirin, and he says, I knew it must be done, and so did the rest of the council. The Aasimar would be the death of us. We saw our deaths at their hands. We had no choice but to find them before they came to us. He showed us all dying to the Aasimar and an elf, and he looks over at you.
Oh.
He said, we knew that the other gods were jealous, but this was practically a direct attack on us, so the council all decided what to do. So we asked our Eldari puppets to get the elf to us by bringing the father.
Knew it was an inside job.
It was totally an inside job.
Knew it.
We said a fake peace to the Eldari, and they fell right into it. We sowed falsehoods against her father to make him a target for the Eldari, and they sent him to his death. I don't know if he's still alive. He very well could be, but it was all planned. And as far as what happened with you, we corrupted that Aasimar, made sure he was fallen. And when you did the blood magic, that's when Azrael was able to see him and send you on your original quest. He still is fallen. We're not sure what he's doing,
Who?
but their original target.
Oh.
Yeah.
This council fabricated everything from the start, just to get you guys close so they could kill you. He says, but our eyes were fixed on the Aasimar in particular because we'd seen them and their blades, both light and dark, cut through us like we were nothing. But when we brought them before us, they were just weak twins, strong in their own way. And it was surprising that day when the council told me that I was to be the one to sacrifice. And it was in that night that they were put into our cages. They fell asleep, and I stood above them with the blade, and I couldn't do it. I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't bring my hand to kill them while they slept. My arm felt heavy, and it felt like as if something was like physically stopping me. I was abandoned by the council for a few days until they finally got to me again, telling me that if I don't complete my mission, that I'm going to be sacrificed just like them. I was thinking about running away and trying to change my form to escape, but it was then the trickster found me and told me that he would give me great power to protect myself. I made a pact with him. It wasn't something I originally wanted to do, but I felt like I had no friends, no allies anywhere. And that's my son. He's just whispering into the door.
Listing all the people he loves.
Yes, he does.
All of them. Everybody he knows.
He said, but the Faceless One bound us all together by forcing us to meet him in his own tomb, in his own shrine.
Where was that?
That was beneath.
It was in.
Oh.
It was in El Jadra, like right beneath. There was this like vapor coming up
This
through
wasn't.
this area.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, this is before you.
He said, and the rest simply happened. He said that is until my wife Alana came to finish the job. She was an excellent killer, master disguise, and I didn't want to
Your
confront
wife Alana?
Yeah.
What? You knew that?
No.
I
Says
thought that you
until-
said your wife was alive in here,
She was.
in Maneva.
She was sent to finish the job that I couldn't do. She was supposed to kill me too, but once we had escaped into the Underdark, she learned of the Gith and how powerful they were, and how much of a threat they were to us by being so close to our borders. And if they could get portals into our city, then they could finish us off, because we wouldn't see where they're coming from. And so she stuck with you for a while until Nakrashau, when she had attempted to kill you. I had to fight her off that night when you all slept. He explains that he cast silence, and so their battle was completely in quiet.
But I was in the room the whole time with him that night.
You were, but he cast a spell on you. And it worked too. I rolled a natural 20 on like a charm, so you thought you were with him the whole night. But he said it was cruel that they sent my wife. Even crueler still that she was chosen by the demon. And when I thought that she ran away, she came back calm and collect. And I knew she had changed, but the demon didn't know that she was my wife. I knew that something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what it was until the Faceless One told me that I'd die soon. He revealed to me my death. This is his rendition of Star Wars. He's like, uh-oh, Mom's coming.
I can hear it.
Yeah, no, guys, I've had this whole story going on behind you guys. That if you'd found out something, you would have. I like D&D because I don't have to tell the whole story
Right.
for it to be. Because if you guys say, I'm going to investigate this,
Right.
you could have found out.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
it's just my fun way of revealing what was going on in the background.
I don't think, honestly, I've kind of been trying to play Warren this way. I don't think he's naturally a very curious person.
No, he seems like, from what we've started from start to finish, he's very just like, how to describe him? He's there. He takes in the moment and acts on the moment. He's not like, I'm going to analyze the whole world around me.
Right,
He's just like, I need to solve this problem here.
Right. He's not super curious and analytical. I mean, there's things he wonders about, but...
Okay. Sorry, where did we leave off of?
Oh no, I just said that Alana was taken, changed, and he's like, I knew the difference because she had just literally tried to kill me and you guys. I defended you. She suddenly turned and left the room to go kill, and within like 2 minutes, because she had wounded him. You guys didn't know this because he had time to heal, but she suddenly came back in the room, totally calm, and like nothing had happened. So he was the only one that knew that something was up, but he just didn't know what. He kind of thought, that's why he was saying we should leave. And when we were all in Nakrashau deciding should we go face the demon, he was like, I don't know, because he was like, like, I'm not sure, maybe we should just go, But he was saying that because he didn't know if it was going to be another trap. But then he turns to you and says, the Faceless One showed me my death. And he showed me that it's you that kills me. And so when you made that vow to kill all of the Yuan-Ti, I knew that it was just, no matter what I do to change things, it somehow finds a way to get back at me. He says, when he gave this power to you, Weirin, I knew I was being replaced yet again. He walks to the center, and he pulls out a knife that you've never seen before. It's this long blade. And it's like this bronze color, and it's very like it's like a snake going around the hilt. Ruby eyes at the end, and he just he holds it like this. He's not like gonna kill himself, but he's holding it like this, and he just like offers it to you, and he says, "I deserve nothing less. You know, I've lied to you. Your brother was killed. If not for me and my counsel, then you would all be okay." And then he just, he shows you again his face. He said, "This is me." He's like, "I've made too many sacrifices. I've killed too many innocents. I know what I've done to become this, because the Yuan-Ti have to sacrifice to become more and more like the snake, and I can't do it anymore." He says, "If you do kill me, I ask that you kill Khafra, because there's never going to stop until he's dead. Amon is a weakling. If he dies, he dies, but you have to kill the anathema." And he's and he just kind of like looks down at the blade and then hands it to you, like looks over at you. He says, "I will come with you to the end, but if you don't trust me, which I believe you shouldn't, I totally understand if you end me now."
So, somewhat taken aback, I ask him, "This is your death that you've seen?"
"I only know that you kill me. I just don't know when. And no promises I could give you with my forked tongue could you ever believe that I wouldn't just turn you into Khafra when we get there."
I tell him, "Damned be Serhas and the visions he's given you. You may die and it may be at my hand, but today's not that day."
Inspiration point. That's awesome. And so he looks up at you and like with tears in his eyes, and he drops the blade and he stabs it. Like before he like drops it, he stabs it into the ground where like the blade is, and it cracks.
Cool.
Okay,
And what happens to Odeon?
he's fine.
Okay,
You released him,
Released him.
in a sense, yeah. Because the stones don't break unless they're dead. Because remember, they all died. When they died, the seals cracked. Everyone, our son loves Star Wars. I'm not sure if you know this. He does the background music because once we switch, steal his gear, dirty liar.
I know.
By the way, thank you for coming back, Bruce. It's good seeing you. I know a lot of you guys catch the replay, so Bruce is watching. He's always watching. Lord Bruce.
Well, he's
Always
involved
watching.
in this.
No, the next
Yeah.
campaign I have like stuff already getting ready for Bruce. He's like gonna be emperor or something.
Where is my father? Where was he taken?
I know where he would be. He said he would be with the anathema. He'd be using him as some kind of bait. We set
you
up
said
traps.
you don't know if he's alive or not.
I don't know if he's alive or not, but he knows that you're here. People are of his family are dying. He knows that you're near
But why my father?
because he saw you kill him. Henry, hey, go to sleep, buddy.
He was asleep, guys.
I know he was asleep. So was our daughter too. It's game night.
Just way too fun.
We're the D&D group with kids. I think it's just got to be said.
That's the that's the defining characteristic.
We're one of the only ones. So I mean, it could be
Yeah.
That have actual kids here.
during.
Present during the game.
Yeah. Well, it's just the way it is. It's not we're gonna be like lock them in a room and like go upstairs or something.
It's kind of what we've done.
Bedtime and
It's
locking in a room are
bedtime,
different.
Yeah.
Before they call the police. Anyway, so he says, I'm not sure why he would be kept alive other than simply to draw you to him. He probably, and I've seen it done before with many different heroes that have come against us, he'll draw them in close and he'll make it look like we're about to save them, and just before we save them, he kills them as a form of mental torture to throw you off your guard. That's kind of his thing. So if your father is alive, we can't just go charging in. That never has worked. And as far as he knows, is I'm still a part of this. You know, he thinks I'm leading you to him. So if I lead you to him, it might be, and again, it's dangerous. And I understand your predicament because how can you trust me? I could lead you to your deaths, but if I lead you to him, it's possible that he'll let down his guard for once, and we could get the surprise on him for once. I don't know. I mean, I've never done this before. I never thought I would survive this far with you.
What's in it for you to see the downfall of the Brotherhood?
Guilt.
That's it? Like, you're not planning
I've
on
lost everything.
taking over and starting Brotherhood over with
As
you
far
as
as
the
as
leader?
far as I see, is the Brotherhood's dying. Most of the Yuan-Ti are dead. The city's about to fall. And just then you do hear large cracks of boulders crashing into the side of their walls, even at this distance. So he points that out and says, even now, they've done more than anyone's ever done before. Even if I was to betray you, I would have nothing to go back to. He said, my life is going to end in the next few days, but I can at least do the world one favor and take out something that's been here since the beginning of time. If my legacy means anything. It's up to you. What would your characters do? Well, I mean, he let him live. He stabbed the stone. It broke. But obviously, your reservations are totally valid.
I just pick up my bow, my sword, and I just walk out of the temple.
Nice.
I leave.
As you walk out of the temple, you see a dead wizard in a gray render, totally just destroyed. So,
yeah, I thought so.
yeah.
Just like,
That's why they were slightly
Okay.
weaker. Not by much. They didn't roll much against them, but they did hurt them a little bit, to your benefit. Next to the Grey Render's body, however, there's a small gray figure that's all covered in slime that's kind of moving around.
so a little gray render. It's not being controlled by anything because of the wizard. Is it just little?
It's probably about like a medium to average.
And renders
like,
are monsters?
dog size. They're
Demons?
classified as monsters, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go up with my sword and just go.
Okay, so perception roll before you roll your attack.
Oh.
I know the mistake you're making, but I didn't go outside with this, so.
No, it's fine. What happens, happens.
Yeah.
It shapes everything.
17.
Okay, as soon as you approach it, it perks up and looks at you, and then starts making like a strange, like purring, cooing sound. And it looks at you, and it just sits there and just stares at you.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
I remember.
And so, roll your attack roll.
Can I change my mind after perception?
Yeah, of course you
Okay.
can. I'm just saying you were going to attack it, so I was going to let you follow up with that.
Because didn't you say we that they like kind of like
I
So
had
you have this
remembered.
recollection as you're about to
Yeah.
attack it. You're just like ready to stab it, and it just like looks
that
at
whoever's next to it they
you when
like
they're born.
yeah I remember that and
Yeah.
we were talking about how that could be a problem if they're with
Good
the-
save.
yeah.
No, I mean, it just looks up at you, and it's just like looking at you expectantly, and then walks up and starts kind of like rubbing its like slime against you.
And Runa comes up and starts hissing at it.
Oh yeah, we have a little.
I have 2 now. And I'm just like, okay, come on. And just walk a little bit of ways. I'm looking for like just.
As you walk away, it starts following you.
I don't want to stay in the temple, but I do want to rest. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe they'll come.
So you
out
saw
too.
when you came up there. Was
I'm
a-
letting you decide what to do because you know Odeon. Better
You're just
than
like, I wanna
do,
kill him.
so. Well, I'm mad.
No, I love it. Play that character.
My
you
father's
do know
probably
that
dead
they-
because of him.
So you look at the cliff
and
face,
if not,
there
he will be
is
dead.
right at the cliff face where you were coming up. there looks like a small camping area you could do, and you could still see the city and anyone coming up that road. Because remember, this is like a plateau.
Is there anything to like the back?
No,
So it's pretty
just
open.
it plateaus up at the top and flattens out. That's where the temple was, and there's that road that you came up on that
Okay.
winds down. So I mean, if you go camp at the very top,
Sorry. Are there any trees?
now that you mention that, I want you to roll perception on the area.
I'm 17. I guess 12's my numbers
It's
in there.
it's slow. It's slow, but everything around you seems to be decaying.
So is my food decaying too?
No.
Okay.
Not like the temple with the.
I'm like, really?
There's another mummy lord.
Oh crap.
No, decaying in the sense that this was kept alive by magic, and everything that was green and all the bushes and everything
What about the statues?
all starts to die. They are crumbling,
Oh,
unfortunately.
sad.
So old heroes that have gone missing and died are finally getting rest / dying.
/ being wiped from history.
Right, that too.
Did the prince come out before me, or is he still in the temple?
As far as I know, he's still in the temple.
'Cause wasn't he leaving with the one guy, the one soldier that
He
was
was.
still
They
alive?
were making their way
During
out,
the
so
fight,
maybe
yeah.
they were ahead of you, and it's because he's trying to get him back. So you see them as you're walking up.
Oh, and they didn't see the the little gray render.
They just ignored it and kept going.
Oh.
I mean, this guy's #1 priority: get the prince to a healer. He just got shot with a very large arrow that's poisoned
He got shot. Okay.
by Medusa.
Who can heal in our group?
I don't think any of us have healing abilities.
Well, crap, because the wizard's dead.
Yeah.
And it's a half day's journey.
Mm-hmm.
And at what time is it? Like nighttime?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not warlocking, I have some ability, but
It's hard not to warlock.
I know it's yeah.
Your ranger has some cool abilities,
I
but,
know.
but when it comes to like versatility in a
Damage.
battlefield,
Yeah.
it's hard not to
Yeah,
use
the
a warlock.
warlock's definitely higher damage than the
Those that
ranger.
don't know, the trickster god gave him the powers of a warlock for now, which is like a pretty big boon. But he has to pick one every day.
Yeah.
And you'd like a
either
healing
ranger
arrow or
warlock.
something.
Let me
I
shoot
know.
you with
Some
my
people
healing
use
arrow.
some people use
I know.
med kits.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I love it though. That'd be so.
It's like the beguiling arrow. That one doesn't make sense to me.
You shoot them and they're like, "I want to talk
But
to you
it
now."
worked.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it was very useful.
I mean, I had to hide the arrow. He's like bleeding.
Don't worry, you guys like broke his neck like a couple minutes later.
And buried him under a tree.
At least he had shade. All right, so you caught up to the prince and the soldier, who you never learned his name. I shouldn't name all the NPCs. They all died. I do it because I want to know, like they're people, because
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
might
Alright.
talk to them.
So I start building a fire.
I don't want to be like, this is George the second.
Let me
George
tell
the
you his
third."
whole story. Yeah.
I don't do that much. I do like.
Yeah, where's George? Did George come? George left.
He didn't come with
He
us.
didn't come with us?
He was. Yeah, we didn't bring him.
You told him to stay with Salik. That's the last thing
Is
you
that what
gave
we
him
did?
information with.
Maybe if throwing things.
I love George. Our campaign's Groot. Oh wow!
That was nice, babe.
Right, so you're staying in the place, or what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna wait for her to leave, and then turn and talk to Odeon and say I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because of everything we've been through together. Admittedly, the history that you've given me makes it hard for me to trust you, but at the same time, I feel like I can trust you because you've come clean about it.
He nods and then he smiles and he says, "Either way, one of us is dead."
Yeah. But I do assure you,
It's not doing much to like.
if you turn on us,
He smiles and he puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "I know my fate." And he puts his clawed hand, like half snake, like reptiled out to you, and like two of his fingers have like formed together, and he shakes your hand if you take it.
yeah, I take it, yeah.
And he says, "I don't know what promises mean to you at this point, but I promise I will not betray you."
Insight check. 22.
You saw the truth. You see it in his eyes that even though snake eyes and he is everything that you hate, he's 100% telling you just like, I will fight to the end with you. You know, I've done bad. I want to do good for once. So he knows what they're capable of, and you can tell he wants them dead.
Let's go prepare.
All right. So as you walk out of the temple, you see Elara way off in the distance, starting to set up a little camp on the ridge. Are you lighting a fire? What are you doing? Okay. Probably eating.
Would be wise.
Well, I
Maybe
guess
it's
I'm
time to go
looking
to sleep,
at
bud.
the prince's wound.
Nina, she's just growling.
Can I like do something to like help him?
Yeah, roll medicine check. Hey, Henry, you gotta go to sleep, buddy.
12.
It's time to go to bed. You're able to remove the arrow without causing further bleeding.
Oh, okay.
So at least this arrow that's about that thick is now out of his body.
Okay.
I mean, the arrowhead was
So he
like.
probably won't bleed out.
Yeah, no, you stopped the bleeding, so you're okay.
Oh, I stopped the bleeding. Okay, because I'm like, I probably shouldn't have removed.
Like I said, you were able to remove the arrow without causing further damage.
Oh, okay.
You didn't heal him anything, but you didn't kill
Okay.
him in the process, which could have happened.
You didn't kill him.
Roll a
by trying to
natural
help.
one, and you break it, and it kills him.
He's dead.
You dig it in further.
Whoops.
You trip.
You're like, okay, I've got this. I think if I push it through and out the back, I read this somewhere. You're just like,
straight into his lungs.
it's like,
What's the little gray render doing?
it's been circling you and like jumping around, like waiting for like you to play with it. It's very like loud, even though it's small. It's just like this. It's dirty. It's covered in like just because it was slimy and now it's covered in sand.
I tell it to hush, and then I tell Luna to go play with it.
So as it goes, there's like these big like flaps just, and it's just
Show
like
me again
it's
what it
many
looks like.
it's many eyes.
This is. How fast do they grow? Do I know anything about gray renders besides?
No, unfortunately you don't. But roll.
No, you
It's-
don't.
I mean, you didn't from your last roll, but maybe you'll remember something
Yeah,
now.
I think Weirin knew about renders.
Natural
There you
20.
go.
You know everything.
I know. See.
In fact, as you were going over, you recalled this one lesson that you thought was to another beast, but it totally makes sense now. That gray render is bond completely to a person and will be bonded. It's mostly like a. Just have the string friend there, but there's someone else named Bruce. It was confusing. Yeah, it's confusing. Let me pull up everything on a gray render because you rolled the natural 20. So.
You're like,
Foiled
you
your
know
plans.
nothing.
Well, from your last roll, you
Let's
didn't
let
know.
the dice.
You rolled like a 5. All right, so
Yeah, but that was a day ago.
I've totally had time to think about it.
oh, gray render. I thought you said
Gay Fender.
yeah. You
yeah, that didn't make sense at all.
you
I
were
was so.
you were way off. You're like they're called what? That's weird. With dense muscles and thick bones, gray renders were hulking, powerful masses. Hello.
Hello.
They walk on 2 feet, but they're all often hunched over, but they can go on all fours. They have extra long arms that drag along the ground when they're standing up. And even such a posture, they reached about 9 feet tall when they're fully grown. Grey Render's body is hairless. That's all past tense. I don't know if this person's like was hairless. They have sharp claws on their hands, powerful jaws, full of. Sorry that you just hear this. It's me, my stomach. Grey Renders had a keen sense of. What is the past tense? Who wrote this? They're not past tense. They're creatures in the book. Why are you writing in past tense? It's really bothering me.
Maybe they're dead in their world and they don't exist anymore.
When hunting, gray renders sometimes wait to spring traps. Once they engage combat, they attack to kill, working themselves into thoughtless rampage of fearless destruction.
Wow.
They're not really found in groups. They're alone. They work by themselves, and they seem to adopt. Let's see. Scholars could not explain. Get over it. I don't know why it's bothering me so much. Apparently that's one of my pet peeves. I didn't know that. let's see, scholars cannot explain the strange behavior from an otherwise aggressive monster, but Grey Renders seem to adopt other creatures as their like their clan, their little group. They'll follow somebody, even if
Lost
those
puppies.
beings are protected or attack the Grey Render, it would simply retreat and come back later. So if you just attack it, if she suddenly just attacks it, it will just run away and come back.
Go on.
It would
get
never
outta
cause
here.
harm to a creature willingly that it's bonded to.
Do I know how fast they grow?
Let me see. I don't think I have that. They reproduce asexually in a manner most unusual of advanced species. Once the Grey Render's lifetime, it produced an single offspring, which developed in a pocket or pouch in the adult Grey Render's body. It's when it reaches a certain age, it doesn't say, it departs from its parent and live on its own. In this case, the parent died. They grow up to 9 feet. Their average weight, 9,000 pounds.
Holy crap.
1,000 pounds per foot.
And they get feathers. Some of them grow feathers and they turn yellow.
Interesting.
But it's chaotic neutral. And it is dark vision, low vision. I mean, you know all this because you're natural 20. I just have to do it. Favorite climate is temperate, so it doesn't like this place so much. Forests, hills, and marshes.
Well, it's covered in sand.
It's like, this is great. Anyway, natural 20 on the monster.
And that's my only.
But you don't know
natural
anything
20.
about it. All right.
Shows what you know, DM.
It definitely does show what I know. All right, so you walk out, you get there, and you do see this sand-covered thing playing with her cat. I assume it's a cat.
Yeah,
form.
it's still a cat.
It did hiss, so if it's not a cat,
Mean girl. Yeah, that's a good point.
it's a hissing bird.
Hiss bird. It's one of them hissing birds. She's grunting.
mad.
She's not. She's jumping
She's
and having fun.
excited.
She's got a new jumper. It's pretty exciting, and so she gets really loud. You sometimes she like starts screaming. We look over like, what's wrong? And she's smiling. It's like, why are you screaming?
Hey,
Goodness.
it's your other favorite person.
You're just gonna stare at me all night, huh?
She's waving at you.
Yeah.
She's learned how to wave, guys.
You've seen her grow. All right. Okay, so you get to the camp. You see a Grey Render, smaller version. After you saw the dead one, you saw a dead wizard who's had his head bashed in from behind.
Well, we probably should
Not a very
check the
good
body.
wizard. You guys don't loot much,
No.
but
No.
yeah,
It was probably really smushed.
just the head.
I'm like, ew.
I don't want to. I don't even want to see that.
Thanks.
After everything that's gone through, I'm good. All right, so you get to there, and that's what you see.
Well, I remember Grey Renders a little bit because
You rolled a pretty good one.
I had remembered pretty well hearing about them too. So Weirin's kind of like,
You're not shocked to see it.
wait, were you the first person to come across this render?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's awesome.
So now I'm stuck with.
Audience smiles and says, "Well, you got a new pet." This was a little bit more vicious. And when he says that, your little fate looks over at him.
Luna just hisses at him. And...
So you make her hiss at him.
No, she does it on her own.
Okay.
She's independent.
Well, funny thing though,
Don't need no man.
he's not holding up his visage anymore. He's just being full reptile at the moment.
What do you want to see?
So he doesn't make camp because he really doesn't need to sleep. Oh.
Oops.
No, you can't have that.
She might need her diaper changed.
Okay, we will pause and discuss
Sorry.
things.
Discuss life.
So you thought maybe he was going to betray you guys at some point.
Yeah, I didn't exactly trust him because he never told us anything about himself.
No, yeah, on purpose too. Yeah, my players can be not my players. My NPCs can be pretty transparent once you talk to them. But every time you guys did, I would like naturally skirt away from the idea, and then something would he'd make something happen, or like I gotta go do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just always disappeared at night and didn't want to talk about himself. It's kind of suspicious.
A little bit. He doesn't sleep. He just kind of.
But with Weirin being the way that he is, he wouldn't have brought it up. I've been kind of bad about playing because he's got average intelligence. Like that's kind of his worst stat. So he's a wise person. He's a charismatic person, but
Right,
he's
when it comes
not
to,
very
like,
intelligent.
When it comes to like insightful. Like, look
Yeah.
at it
So
from
he
him.
wouldn't really. I don't know. I don't.
I feel like you've played that well though.
I don't think he would really get into that kind of thing.
Yeah, Cry had pretty good stats in intelligence.
Yeah.
He also had like wisdom because of a monk.
Yeah.
But he tended to not ask too many questions himself. So I mean, it just
Yeah.
I don't know if it was trust or just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
We're in a bad
Optimism.
situation. Let's just hope for
Yeah.
now and deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
Much like your character has been throughout this series.
Weirin kind of turned survivalistic too after the slave pit stuff.
Yeah, he really did.
So, yeah, he was really kind of just watching out for himself and kind of let everybody else just do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when Cry died, it was like,
It's time to be angry about something.
I'm finally just gonna go rage on everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and then now you have these abilities that can help you just melt people.
Right? Sorry, there's a group where?
Burn. Nothing like a good wall of fire.
Where's
to-
the A-bomb spell?
Seriously. Throw a fireball and then a firewall, and it's like,
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw this one group. I think it was Node. If you guys haven't watched Node, I'm sure you have. Anyone that found me, I'm sure you found Node. They do like miniatures and everything. One of them, they did like a wall of fire, but he like curved it,
Mm-hmm.
and like everyone within that circle was just getting toasted. They couldn't escape.
Mm-hmm.
They could jump through it, but being in
They
it,
would still take the damage.
every
though.
single
Yeah.
moment he had that up, they were just being
Yeah.
toasted.
Yeah.
So spells are great. A campaign without spells is really lacking. So
Let's turn so that you can.
for a while, I was thinking about doing a Game of Thrones one, but then I was like, without spells. I mean, intrigue is fun, and it can be a
Yeah.
lot of fun, but without having
Yeah.
spells, it would be like,
I feel like that kind of thing probably exists in Game of Thrones. We just haven't seen it yet.
right.
I mean, there's the whole Lady in Red
And
and
the warg,
the
brand.
wargs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some like
Yeah.
druid type things.
I
But
think
it's
there's
very-
more spellish stuff in that universe. We just haven't seen it yet. That's
Sure.
my
and
theory.
what are they called? The Night King and.
Yeah, oh, for sure, they're magic.
Yeah,
How the heck
so-
are they alive?
Right.
Yeah.
Creating armies of undead.
Okay, we digress.
We're
Yeah.
back.
Children of the Forest, all that. Man.
Thank you for joining us again. All right. The last thing that happened, they walked up. He said, "Did you bond to it?" And she said, "Yes." Well, it bonded to her, and then
Yeah,
she didn't really.
I'm
bond to it?
not really bonded to it yet, but don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we'll see.
Well, either way, it's a useful tool, I guess.
Yeah.
Henry, what's wrong, hon? Okay.
I
Well,
don't know how much longer we're gonna get to play.
it's okay. We'll finish the
Yeah.
camp and then we'll see what happens from
our
there.
kids.
Yeah.
They both woke up. They were both asleep. We're like, this is gonna be a good session. They're gonna still had a good time.
And she woke up just before.
And then now he's awake. I mean, he was awake a little bit ago. All right, so you create camp. You set up Odeon for respective. And the Grey Render is making all sorts of weird sounds.
Are you the Grey Render too? Yeah.
She does the voices for all the animals.
She's very good at it.
She- and Odeon, out of respect for Alara, stays away from the camp and sits on the cliff face. Looking down, by the way, at the city that is partially ablaze in the section that they have taken. You can tell that they.
Oh, we're that close to it.
You're close enough where you can see a little detail,
Stop trying
but
to
you're
grab the
above it,
dice.
so you can kind of see where the river cuts through it and then cuts around the center of it, where all the large pyramid structures are, and then you can see some towers that have been crumbled.
So we're pretty high if we can see the
Yeah, it
river
was
over the walls.
Yeah.
I guess we did hike up, huh?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
went up for a while.
That's right.
So you're up
We're
pretty
pretty high.
You
No.
can see down it. It's not like detailed, but you can definitely see enough where you can see over the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that part of the city on the side.
Was it the east
Yeah,
side?
north side.
North
The
side.
north side's been mostly destroyed, but that's
Okay.
where they've made it in. They've taken that part of the city.
And did we
They
go?
haven't crossed the river, it looks like, but
Okay.
they've made it to that part. Maybe I'll get a different.
I forgot that one had noise in it. Maybe the seal.
The seal? Where is it?
Right there. It's right there for Phil.
Where's Phil? Oh.
Parent life, guys.
Every time I hear seal, I'm just immediately. That has like 32 million views on
Does
it,
it?
which is sad because I feel like it should have more.
Well, it came out way before YouTube.
Yeah, they did like a Vivo thing on it, but it's
Yeah.
like way past its prime there. Buddy, what's wrong, bud?
That's Batman Forever. Is that where that song was?
Yeah. Oh, great soundtrack. Go to sleep, buddy. We're almost done, okay? Never.
Yeah, in a little bit, okay, babe?
He's supposed to be way asleep, like hours.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
He
so
was.
you see that going on down below. They seem to take a little bit, and the prince is kind of like looking up a little bit. He can kind of see over the side of the cliff, and he just says, "Well, at least something's going well. We've taken out a couple of their leaders and part of the city. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a day well spent." And he laughs a little bit, but then immediately regrets it as he's just like holds his side. And Kalali is
We
actually
had horses. We had horses, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where are our horses? They're
They're-
gone.
they're gone.
Mm.
Very possible the Grey Rander could have eaten them. Just saying.
The wizard would have let that happen.
I don't
If
know.
he was dead.
Who knows how long that happened? They could have scattered.
Because
I
how are we
mean,
going to bring the prince back to the camp?
the lovely thing about D&D world is sleeping does wonders.
Oh, yeah.
I always imagine it this way: is that when you're getting ready for bed and you have injuries, your character is like patching themselves up,
Mhm.
doing minor magic things,
Wrapping their ankles.
using herbs to like close wounds, things like that.
Mhm.
I imagine the next day you're not fully like healed visually, but like your hit points go up to a point where you're comfortable enough to fight. That's the way I've always seen it, because I don't feel like they just heal. If
Mhm.
you got stabbed the day before, you're still gonna have the wound,
Yeah.
but you feel HP enough to fight.
Yeah.
That's how I see it,
Okay.
because it wouldn't make sense that your wounds overnight to just
Wolverine.
yeah. There's no one Wolverines at night in my campaigns. They still have the injuries,
I'm an elf, right? So I
just like your character lost an eye and lost an eye.
I only need
Not
to,
this one.
I only need to sleep 4 hours, right,
Mhm.
to get a full rest.
Yeah, it's more of like a meditation.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have first watch, and I'm gonna rest because I'm almost dead.
Okay.
So how are you? You're almost dead too, aren't you?
He needs his spells back too.
Not as bad as you, but
Okay. Because I died.
Odion laughs on the cliff and says, "I'd keep watch, but I guess it doesn't matter at this point."
I just gotta ignore him for a little bit.
yeah.
Work through my feelings.
No, he's part of the reason that they captured your dad. It was one of his things. So you have every right to be upset with
Didn't
him.
he say it was his idea?
He's done it hundreds of times. Stopped people from killing
Want
them.
to say a bad word, but my babies are awake. I
At least one. I think he fell asleep.
don't think so.
pretty quick.
Okay, you know what he did the whole time his nap time? For like 2 hours.
Da, 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 da.
No, he was doing the Force theme.
Oh, da, 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 da.
Yeah, that's the one he's been singing a lot.
He's pretty good at it now.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
pretty on
And
key.
singing like
getting
every
there.
song he knows.
Oh,
He did that for 2 hours, like off and on. I'm just like,
It's not the worst thing in the world, I guess.
it's supposed to be quiet time if it's not nap time. It was not quiet time because he was singing the loudest he possibly could.
Oh, man.
All right. Okay.
So, She's gonna meditate. I'm also going to sort of meditate. It's not like intended as like a sleepful rest.
Well, you're resting without sleeping.
Yeah.
Where you'll need to sleep, but
and part of it's like I'm feeling a little bit of closure having killed Ammonius, and I'm feeling somewhat, I don't know, kind of like reconnected with my brother a little bit, and I'm kind of
explore that.
So it's.
I say as like a therapist would.
Right.
Explore that.
Explore that.
Tell me more. Tell me more about your brother.
Yeah, no, so I kind of feel like a callback to Cry a little bit, and I'm kind of wanting to sort of reconnect with him in my memory.
Okay.
And I guess part of the intention here is that he wants to reconnect with his ranger self, with his roots.
We're gonna have to
This is
stop
why
after
we're going
this.
to record.
Yeah.
After this is exactly why we're going to start recording, so we don't
Yeah.
have this situation. So if we could pause, go do this. So just
And Weirin's actually going to attempt to connect with Azrael.
okay, roll advantage on it, since it's a connection that you're very familiar with.
Looking for
But
advantage.
it's also though one
What-
that he kind of.
He can just do.
Do you want me?
But you kind of.
I just want to see what you're rolling.
Do you want me to add anything to it or
Religion.
religion?
This would be like your brother and
So,
like.
I
connected
thought
to
he
13.
basically was
13.
like, "I'm done with you."
Yeah.
Didn't you
Well,
say that?
he was kind of like Azrael's been missing for a long time. He's never not shown himself to me in years.
It feels like yeah.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
When he
that's
has,
right.
it was the trickster.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He's only ever like spoken to you through messages.
Cry. He spoke to Cry. He didn't speak to me.
No, because you were the fallen part
Yeah,
of it. Unfortunately, that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Yeah. So no, this is just that's Weirin's feeling.
So,
it's,
as you're meditating on the cliff, you just feel the world around you. You feel the sand underneath you. You feel the wind whipping over the top. You kind of catch a like a whiff of like the desert air mixed with a little bit of smoke from the city. Thoughts of growing up with your brother, running through the temple, fighting with fake swords, getting in trouble with like the high priest who's like, you're fighting incorrectly and teaching you moves, and you both ending up taking over, like fighting him and like winning, and like having these moments where you're just like triumphing with him and just fighting. It's mixed with a mix of like a bitter sweet feeling, like where your chest tightens a bit, but you also feel that like release of "I avenged you" type of feeling.
yeah.
So as you sit there for a second, you finally, for the first time in like an extremely long time, feel like the presence of Azrael. You don't see him; he hasn't spoken, but you can feel him.
Okay.
And so, what are you doing?
Essentially, it's sort of like a prayer. Like, Azrael, we're here to take down Serhas and his legacy, to rid the world of this poison and to avenge my brother, your son. Please assist me.
Okay. And though you don't get a direct response, you feel like the words within you say, "I was there, I know, and I will be there." So that's kind of the impression you get.
Okay.
And so with that, like the vision kind of ends. It's the first time he's spoken to you, but we were actually going to stop. Henry, that's great. That's awesome to end on. Okay, Henry, we're all done. We'll come in and sing to you again. Yeah,
He
of
wants
course.
Silent Night.
I'll sing Silent Night to you.
His favorite
That's
song.
fine. Just 1 second, bud. Anyway, thank
We
you so
celebrate
much.
Christmas year round around here.
It's true. Thank you so much for dealing with this throughout the whole campaign, the ups and the downs. Live is this way, and we loved it. We've had a great time. We're about to get to the end. It feels like within the next couple episodes, depending. And we'll let you know. We're probably gonna play this Saturday, so heads up there. But we'll let you know if something comes up because
Kids.
everything between his stuff and our stuff and their stuff. It's interesting. So, but we're gonna switch to recording soon. That's gonna be fun. Also, I expect a Halloween 1-shot or 2-shot, depending on how long it takes. But we're just gonna do a mini fun thing for Halloween month. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. And may your rolls always be natural ones, just not natural ones. We did great tonight. I don't think we did any natural ones.
May your dreams be dreams.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And your kids be asleep.